Hey, I'm Markia. Want to hear something scary?
Discarded offering. Georgia's friend Min had gone missing, but none of the other members of their houseless encampment wanted to talk about it. It could be dangerous living rough alone, so Min had invited her to join the community. Georgia had been living there for a little under a year without any incidents, so she was surprised that everyone wasn't alarmed by Min's disappearance. Georgia kept asking questions, and finally, one of the elders of the community, Old Drew, told her that she hadn't been living there long enough to understand the way of things. He explained that every year, the community had a lottery, and one of them was selected to go into the sewers as an offering to keep their encampment safe. Old Drew wouldn't elaborate other than to say a deal was struck and promises had to be kept. Not satisfied with his cryptic answers, Georgia armed herself with a flashlight and knife and headed to the sewers to find her friend. Min had offered her a lifeline when she invited Georgia to live in the camp, and now she owed it to Min to find her. Entering the nearby mouth of a huge drainage pipe that fed into the concrete-bedded river near her camp, Georgia voyaged on. It was a dangerous journey, as wastewater could rush through without warning, but she would soon learn that that was the least of her worries. A dugout area of the sewer led into a dark cave. This wasn't done by workers. Something much bigger had to have done this. Every instinct she had told her not to go on, but then she spied the colorful bandana that Min always wore near the mouth of the cave. Min was in there. As Georgia descended into the terrifying darkness, she started to come across litter. Cigarette butts, used paper towels, broken bottles, jagged open cans, and even old televisions, beat-up couches, and so on. The hoard continued to grow the deeper she journeyed inside. She was nearly waist-deep in the sickening piles of junk and slimy garbage when finally she found Min sitting atop one of the heaps. Min looked at her friend and started crying. "You shouldn't have come, Georgia. This is my responsibility." Min shook as Georgia begged her friend to stand up. "We have to go," she demanded. Min refused as Georgia steeled herself to drag her friend out if she had to. Reaching out towards Min, Georgia froze as the heaps of junk and litter around them began to move. A creature rose from the piles of refuse. It was huge, bigger than any animal Georgia had ever seen. Patches of plastic, metal, and paper were fused to its body, making it nearly impossible to tell where the creature ended and its hoard of trash began. It hissed.
"To stop me from hunting the unwanted, and in exchange for allowing your community to exist above my lair, I take one of you each year."
The creature shambled closer, grinning with pointed teeth. Licking its chops, the beast lowered its snout, sniffing them as it declared,
"This year, I will have 2 offerings."
"Like hell you will!" Georgia screamed as she ran up and slammed her knife into the creature's snout. The creature reeled back and howled in pain as Georgia grabbed Min's hand, scrambling out of the lair towards the sewer. The growls of the beast rang out behind them as it scraped its way through the tunnel, ripping everything apart in its wake. The sounds grew louder and closer with each passing moment. Finally, they found their way back into the drainage pipe of the sewer, sunlight in the distance. A loud crash sounded behind them as the creature burst into the sewer. Every move the dragon made shredded the environment around it. It was nearly upon them when A loud rushing sound filled the air. Suddenly, a wall of water stormed through the tunnel, tossing all of them out into the nearby river. As they tumbled through the grimy tsunami, the creature tried to bite at them with its massive maw, but the rushing current kept them just out of its reach. At last, Georgia found a crack in the concrete riverbed and managed to hold it and Min tight as the water pushed the creature further and further away from them. The dragon howled for revenge, promising to bring devastation to everyone in their community. Georgia had saved her friend, but she knew her battle with the draconic creature had only just begun.